UNC Pembroke football fell behind early and couldn't come back as the Braves lost to Catawba 39-21 despite a record-breaking day for junior BJ Bunn. The wide receiver had a school record 12 catches and 219 yards plus 2 touchdowns, but it wasn't enough. The 4-3 Braves are back at home this week to take on West Virginia State on Halloween. UNCP cross country had a memorable day at the PBC Championships. The men's team claimed its first PBC title in convincing fashion as all 5 runners finished in the top 15 to claim all-conference honors. On the women's side, Leotard and Nico also picked up all-conference recognition by finishing 15th to pace the team for a third-place finish. Head coach Peter Ormsby was named PBC Coach of the Year following race day festivities. On the pitch, women's soccer was down 2-1 at halftime on the road against Young Harris, but scored 3 goals in the second half to claim a 4-2 victory. Amber Watkins scored twice, while Stacey Scott had a goal and an assist. On the men's side, the nationally ranked Mountain Lions proved to be too much and edged out the Braves 3-0. In volleyball action, it was a tough week for the Black and Gold as it faced 2 of the top 4 teams in the PBC, dropping a pair of home contests to Armstrong State and Flagler. And basketball season got underway this week with the men's team beginning its preseason slate with a game against the All-Army team. The women's team will play its first preseason game on November 13th at Campbell. The Black and Gold Report starts now. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Black and Gold Report presented by Pepsi, a show all about UNC Pembroke athletics. I'm Jenna Davison, and today on the show we're going to be catching up with head football coach Shane Richardson while also talking to Director of Athletics Dick Christie and Lumpy Guarantee Bank President Larry Chavis. But first, we're joined by Coach Richardson. Coach, welcome back to the show.
Thank you again for having me.
Well, the Braves made a late comeback effort on Saturday, but still came away with a 39-21 loss to a 6-2 Catawba team that is currently atop the South Atlantic Conference standings. What are your takeaways from this game?
We knew it was going to be a tough game going in. They have a lot to play for. We had a lot to play for. It was going into a homecoming environment, and they've always played us tough, and so we definitely respect that program a lot. And I think our team needs to learn how to go into those environments and be able to be at our best. And again, taking nothing away from Catawba, but I think we went into a tough situation again, and we did not answer the bell that we expect. And our standards are high, our expectations are high, and so I think we need to continually learn and grow from those situations. I think there was some good effort, there was some good individual performances out there, but collectively as a team, we're not where we need to be in those situations yet, and we need to continue to get better.
Well, your team racked up a season-high 419 yards of total offense, including 396 through the air, but had just 23 rushing yards for the game and surrendered a season-high 5 sacks. What is your progress report on the offensive side of the ball after this game?
Well, I think offensively we may have regressed in some areas, but then we progressed in other areas. And so I think the consistency factor is what we really look at. And we talked about that as an offensive staff. We want to make sure that the whole entire unit of offense, run game, pass game, the turnover game, everything is just clicking. And we've got to make sure that we continually coach it, we've got to continually demand it, we've got to continually challenge our guys to make sure they understand how important that is over the course of a 4-quarter game. And we've been running the ball very, very well, and so that was a little disappointing to see the rushing attack kind of take a step back. Passing-wise, obviously gaining that many yards in the air, very good to see. And so we've got to be able to put together the whole facet of everything and be able to come together for a complete game.
Well, you did get a couple of pretty big offensive performances. Patrick O'Brien threw a career-high 396 yards, while BJ Bunn broke a pair of school records with 12 catches for 219 yards. What made the passing attack so effective against the Indians?
I think it's because we've been running the ball pretty well, and I think Catawba wanted to stop the run and make sure that they kind of stuffed the box a little bit for us, and we were able to play off that, and I think that is what kind of helped us out. we were able to set them up to think that we were running the ball, and then we were able to kind of loosen up their defense a little bit and make sure that we were able to throw the ball behind them, and making sure that guys were running specific, precise routes in the different calls that we saw. So I think that had a big part to do with it. They wanted to stop our running attack, and Rontonio has been doing a great job for us, and I can see why they would try to favor that.
Well, defensively, Code Black surrendered more than 300 rushing yards for the second straight game, and Catawba was 8 for 13 on third down conversions. What did you see on film defensively that concerned you?
I think for 2 weeks in a row now, we've had guys that one guy have been out of position, two guys have maybe struggled in technique, and eventually over time, it hasn't been the same guys, but what happens is guys take turns doing that, and over time of a game, you're going to get 9 guys doing the right thing, 2 guys not doing the right thing, and you can't be great. You can't be a great defense doing that. And so we've got to learn that every man, every play is extremely important. Doing your job is extremely critical for the team's success. And they had a great running attack plan. We did not defend the run very well at all. Our run defense, it just was not tight and firm like it should have been. And there were just too many guys that were not playing with great fundamentals, great technique on the defensive side, and staying in their gaps.
All right, well, we're going to take our first commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to continue talking football with head coach Shane Richardson. So stay tuned. Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're still joined by head football coach Shane Richardson. Coach, can you take us through some highlights we've got here?
Sure will. Yeah, right here, defensively, we opened the game here, and there was a third down play where we knew that they were going to run quarterback draw on us, and we were able to kind of stunt our defensive linemen up front and stop them and get off the field. Here offensively, Pat O'Brien connects with BJ Bunn here, and BJ and Pat had a great connection all day, and BJ did a great job, had a really good game there. Defensively, again, one of the few good plays that were exciting on defense, and we were able to get a turnover and cause a takeaway there and get the ball back to our offense. Here, Matt Davis, actually, he goes wide right on this, and field goal wise, he had been pretty solid, but Matt, he is progressing, and he definitely has been a consistent factor in our kicking game. Here again, you'll see offensively, B.J. Bunn catch a little screen pass on the edge, and he's able to break away for a nice gain there. Pat O'Brien down here, B.J. gets behind the defender, and it really was a great performance by B.J. Bunn all day, and his routes were precise. He found some openings, a big third down catch right here across the middle. It was about 3rd and 25, I want to say, and we were able to pick up the first down right there. BJ has a knack for just feeling out defenders, being able to work to open spots, and he's got great hands. And he's a competitor, and so he did a great job of competing for us on Saturday.
Well, you were able to make a late push against Catawba and put yourself in a position to make a comeback. You had to have been pretty pleased that there was no quit in this team.
Yeah, absolutely. That's something that we really want to take pride in and make sure that we are fighting for 4 quarters. Competitive spirit is definitely something that we talk about a lot as a team, and that needs to be a theme in our program. There's never a time that we want to give up, let down, give in to any opponent or any circumstance, and we want to make sure that we're continually fighting through every circumstance, because you never know what can happen.
Let's go ahead and break this game down a little bit. UNCP scored first on a 40-yard touchdown pass from Patrick O'Brien to BJ Bunn 5 minutes into the first quarter. It was the 3rd time this season the Braves have put the first points up on the scoreboard. So how pleased were you to see that happen, especially since you capitalized on a turnover?
Yeah, momentum is a big deal for us, and I think that's played into the last couple of weeks, and we've talked a lot about that. We wanted to start faster and better, and it was good to see that. And I thought our guys maybe gave them a little bit of excitement factor and be able to give us some confidence. So that was good to see. And the unfortunate thing is we could not sustain that over the course of going further into the game. And so I was great. I was glad to see the way we started, but we've got to be able to sustain that also.
Well, that would be all the scoring for the Braves in the first half as Catawba scored 22 unanswered points to take a 22-7 lead into the locker rooms. What adjustments did you make in the locker room?
Well, I think in the locker room, from the first half, I thought that our sideline energy was pretty low, actually. And it was a game where we should have been extremely excited and supportive of each other, that the guys that were out on the field. And I felt like that could have been better. And there was no real schematical adjustments that were monumental. But I felt like if we could have played with a little more energy and enthusiasm, that could have propelled us a little bit better to be more effective. And so that's the one thing that I really wanted to hit on. We made some little adjustments here and there offensively, defensively, but not a lot. And I felt like if we could come out with a little more pop, a little more juice to our step, we could have done a little better job in the second half.
Well, the Indians drove 75 yards in 8 plays to push their lead out to 29-7 in the opening possession of the third quarter. But the Braves finally answered on the ensuing possession with a 75-yard touchdown drive. Did you feel that your team was finally getting into a rhythm at this point in the game?
I did feel like we had something going there, and we just kind of stayed at that 2-score deficit, and we just couldn't quite make it over the hump of that. But I did feel like we were continually battling. We were getting into a groove offensively, and I would have liked to have seen the defense maybe come up with some big stops there to try to help us regain the lead by scoring some more. And what our team needs to learn is one side of the ball has got to do their job and not worry about what the other side of the ball does. Just because we're giving up a lot of points, we still need a lot of offensive production to score on the scoreboard. And just because maybe we stall offensively, defensively, we've got to stop them still. And so everybody's got to focus on their responsibilities just a little bit more.
All right, we're going to take our next commercial break. When we come back, we're going to continue talking about this past game with head coach Shane Richardson, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the Black and Gold Report. We're still talking football with head coach Shane Richardson. Coach, Catawba pads its lead out to 36-14 midway through the fourth quarter, but the Braves answer back on the following possession, again, this time capping off a 6-play, 71-yard drive on a 38-yard touchdown reception by B.J. Bunn. Unfortunately, Catawba jumps on the subsequent onside kick and ices the game with a late field goal. What did you see in your team in the second half that maybe you didn't see in the first that made you confident in a fourth quarter comeback effort?
I thought we talked about this earlier, but I didn't think we quit. And I thought guys still wanted it, and they went out and they competed, and they found ways to make some plays here and there. I think in those situations, you've got to be able to be more precise than ever before. And so if you're trying to make a comeback, every part of the game needs to be very precise, and it needs to be your best to win one play at a time. So when you somehow cannot stop them from scoring, it makes it tough. And I thought defensively we really struggled in that area on Saturday. But I liked the fight in our team, and I liked the concept that we were still in the game and we were still trying to give it our best effort.
Well, it's been almost a month since you played at home, but the Braves return home on Halloween to host a pretty good West Virginia State team on Robeson County Schools Day at Grace P. Johnson Stadium. What do you know about the Yellow Jackets so far, and where are the strengths of this West Virginia State team?
They're an up-and-coming program. They've got great coaching. They're making a commitment in their facilities. They're going to be a tough team, and they're 5-3 right now. They play in a tough conference, and so they'll definitely be ready for us. And I think offensively, they put up a lot of points. They'll give us a lot of different looks. They do a really good job of being very unique in what they do offensively, and so we'll have to be able to adjust to what they give us. Defensively, they'll be physical, and they'll kind of move stuff around to where we're going to have to make sure that we're correct on what we do offensively. But I expect a very competitive game, and they'll come in here, and I anticipate that they'll be ready for us. And offensively, I think they'll be very strong, and defensively, we're going to need to make great adjustments and have a great week of practice to be able to get back to what we're used to doing and seeing, and definitely playing code black defense.
Well, talking about your week of practice, what will be the main focus in practice this week? And what would you like to see from your team over these last 3 games of the season?
Well, what we've talked about is making sure that we don't let another loss hang over us. And we've got to make sure that today is a new day. You've got a choice today of who you want to be and how you want it to look. And you got to make choices according to that. We've got a chance for 3 weeks to go in the season here, and this is one great opportunity, and we want to make the most of it. And so I want to see a lot of enthusiasm and excitement from our team, and really us just getting back to executing and having fun with it and making sure that we're playing the game of football with a lot of passion.
Well, one of the questions I wanted to ask you about last week, but we didn't have time, was your team was able to make it to the College Football Hall of Fame on its way down to North Alabama. Mm-hmm. I just wanted to hear what you thought of the Hall of Fame and how you thought the guys liked it as well.
Yeah, I thought it was an amazing experience for our guys. Great facility and really neat to go in there. When you first walk in, there's a wall that's really, really big, and it has 768 college football helmets hanging on it, and UNCP has a helmet up there. And so that was really neat for our guys to see that. And you know, there's a lot of tradition and history, and it tells a lot of stories of just the college game itself, and I think it was fun for our guys to see that, and I think they really enjoyed it and appreciated it.
Well, something else that we don't usually talk about on the show during season with you, but you guys are always in recruiting season. You've got coaches going out Friday nights watching games. How do you guys balance going out recruiting on a Friday and being so prepared for those Saturday games?
Yeah, so during the week we try to get a lot of the work done really by the time Thursday and Friday hits. And so by the time Friday hits, you really have the game plan in place, and you've prepared as a team. And so then Friday night we'll usually try to go out to a game, and we try not to travel too far, and we want to make sure that we see the local games as much as we can. And when we're at home, we try to do that. When we're on the road, obviously it's not as easy, but you know, it's just part of kind of the work that we need to do working up until signing day, and it all just goes along with just a very busy and intense season. And our coaches do a great job of it, and they put a lot of effort into it. So very appreciative of them doing that.
Well, thank you, Coach, for being on the show with us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
And we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we're going to be talking to Director of Athletics Dick Christie and Lumbee Guarantee Bank President Larry Chavis. So stay tuned.